My name is Chad Matthews, and I'm a missional storyteller. I've traveled all over the country building friendships with men and women experiencing homelessness, capturing their stories and seeing how they live. Now I'm back home in East Texas, where I've asked 15 of my best friends to share their story of what it's like to live life on the street.
Growing up, childhood was an average childhood. I had a mother and I had a father. Both of them worked. My mother worked at St. Michael's and my father worked at the paper mill. And around about the age of 17, my father got hurt at the paper mill. He was working in a kiln while they was on lunch duty, and the supervisor came back in and it wasn't locked out and tagged out, and he pushed the button and turned the kiln on, and my father was stuck in it, and it flipped him upside down. And the chemicals that was in the kiln, it blinded him and caused him physical damage. And because of that, it was kind of like the beginning of a generational curse. And it was a struggle at 17, trying to help my mother and help my father at the time. And I began selling drugs and hanging out in the street and doing things that children they're not supposed to do. I went to school, had some children. I have 3 children of my own. I have 3 grandchildren now, so I'm a grandpa, pawpaw. One's 22 now, one's 13, and the other one is 11. They've seen the struggle that my father had to go through. They've seen the struggle that I'm going through. I've been disabled, 7.5 years now. November the 16th makes 8 years exactly. I was working at a steel mill in Hope called SMI Joyce at the time, and then they switched names to CMC Steel. I was a lead welding instructor, a lead welding inspector, and a safety manager. And one night about 1 o'clock in the morning, right after break, we went back in. And the graveyard supervisor, he brought a guy over from a different shift to cross-train him and speed him up. And he violated OSHA rules. The rules was like, you're supposed to put 3 bands on the joist. The joist is like when you go in Walmart and you look up in the ceiling, especially in the food department or AutoZone, you'll see those large steel joists. And that's what we made. And he put one band on the joist, and he was going to put the other 2 on before he loaded them on the truck, but that wasn't what OSHA required. And when he hit the air jack to let the joist down, I remember it's like yesterday, and it's almost 8 years later. And the band broke, and the steel fell over on me from behind, and I was pinioned. It wasn't my fault that I got injured in the incident or accident. It was the company's fault. The other crew members, I had 24 people working up under me. They came and got the joist off of me, carried me to the break room. I asked to go to the hospital. I was told that there wasn't any blood and guts, so you're a scrappy young buck and you'll heal up. They put me in a machine, prop me up on pillows because I'm crying. I'm in so much pain. And it comes back showing that I'm leaking in my lumbar region. I don't know anybody, and I haven't met anyone in the past 7.5 years that had 800 pounds of steel fall on them and still living. I'm hurting right now while I'm speaking with you. But there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. I pray about it and I turn it over to the Lord. As a result of the incident and accident, I've been disabled, been deemed by the state of Arkansas permanently disabled and unable to go back to any type of employment. By the Department of DHS, I was deemed as with the work goes, exempt, disabled, and litigation. I'm homeless now. I may see my children once or twice a week. I sleep in a vehicle. 15 tornadoes just come through, 2 nights ago? I'm sleeping in the van watching the storm go over. It's rocking and rolling. Hell is falling everywhere. I have to get gallons of bottled water. And I use body wash and I clean up like that. Brush my teeth. These clothes was donated by a church. These shoes was donated by a restaurant. This coat was donated by another church. So it's, even though I don't have money coming in, there's angels all around that are protecting me. I love them, and the Lord loves me. He's good to me every day. He's enabled me to give me something to eat on a daily basis. He's enabled me to have not shelter like some of you may have, central air and heat, because I sleep in a vehicle. I have to maybe crank it up and start it up in the wintertime to keep warm, or crank it up and start it up in the summertime to keep cool. Psalms 23 is my favorite psalm in the Bible. Bible, basic instructions before leaving this earth. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. First, you have to understand who the Lord is. At the end, it says, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. So I'm smiling even though I'm in pain, because I know at the end of this, just like Job had to go through so much. He even had the opportunity. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm praying for my enemies. And goodness and mercy is going to follow me all the days of my life.